Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Guys, I want to talk about a bait that I just picked off at Tackle Warehouse's website not too long ago. You know, a lot of the tournaments that I was fishing this year, that I've fished so far this year, I knew were going to be shallow water events. And one of them particularly really stood out, and that was Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma. Never been there before, didn't know what to expect other than the fact that there was going to be a lot of very muddy water. And I knew we'd be fishing around the spawn, so there'd be a lot of fish up shallow. So I remember there was one day, it was probably back in like January or February, I was doing some searching on Tackle Warehouse for some baits that I thought might do well in that muddy water. Your vibrating jigs, square bill crankbaits, spinnerbaits, all of that sort of stuff, where I really was just trying to find something that might be a little bit different that I could utilize when I was at Eufaula. And I came across this company called Longest Baits. They're based out of, I believe it's, I don't want to get this wrong, I think it's Spain. Yeah, they're based out of Spain. So I was kind of surprised to see them on Tackle Warehouse. Now I will say that I think I've heard of them in the past making some baits, but they have a series called the Funnel series. So they've got a funnel spinner bait and they've got a funnel like vibrating jig. And in both cases, they've got here basically what I would consider a scrounger style lip that goes around the head. And on the website, it talks about how this creates, you know, huge disturbance in the water. So my thought when I ordered them was, man, if I can get a spinner bait that has a little bit of wobbling motion, you know, some good movement, like a scrounger head back and forth with the blades, that could really be something special when we're talking about fishing in dirty water. The same thing if you're talking about a vibrating jig. If I could get a bait that would have some more movement behind the actual blade itself, that they would be really good at generating some additional strikes, some additional disturbance, as they put on the website, and that it could be something that really would work well. So when I got there, the first bait I had tied on was the spinner bait. And I gotta say, I probably bought, I'm gonna say 6 of each style bait, and they're not cheap. I think they're $13.99 or $14.99, something around that range. So they're not cheap by any means. I'm sure part of that is having to bring them over from Spain to do it. But so, you know, when I first got them, I got to say, I'm very, very impressed with the overall components. Everything is really nice on it. You know, the skirt on the spinner bait is hand tied on. The hook is laser sharp. The wire is nice and soft. The components, everything looks great. I really like the skirt material. And I could say that about both, you know, both of these. The vibrating jig itself, the blade on it has a really nice thin blade, super thin blade, and it's got a nice paint scheme on it that didn't seem to chip at all. Skirt's tied on, laser sharp hook, paint job is nice, everything seems great until I tied it on and I used it. I gotta say, so, and I'm gonna show you in the water, when I put the spinner bait on, I guess I was expecting something more. And really what it turned into to me was a straight spinner bait with maybe a slow roll if I really retrieved it at a fast speed, but it did not have any sort of additional motion that I was really expecting. You know, when the website says it gives off a ton of disturbance, to me it really was just kind of the straight spinner bait. And the same thing with the blade. Now, I will say I feel like this really thin blade gives off some good strong vibration, but I don't know that the actual funnel, as they say, or this scrounger style lip is doing anything special. Like I'm not seeing any additional movement at all out of this. So from that standpoint, I was pretty disappointed with what they actually did. Now, I want to preface that by saying I had really high expectations based off of what I read in the description on Tackle Warehouse. So both of these baits, I have no doubt, will work and function as a spinner bait and as a vibrating jig. But if you were looking for something like I was, really to take the world by storm in super muddy water and create this cool, awesome movement and vibration and disturbance, I was pretty let down. So I want to take you down to the water and just kind of show you what I mean by it. You know, maybe you guys will see something different, but I really didn't didn't see that. So I just kind of wanted to share this with you guys so that if you're looking for the same type of movement and action out of the bait based on the description, you might be let down as well. Now, I'm not necessarily saying these baits don't catch fish. I will say I didn't probably give them a huge try, because after I recognized that, you know, like this spinnerbait in muddy water wasn't going to create the movement and the vibration that I wanted, I took the spinnerbait off and put one on with big Colorado blades, classic Oklahoma style. I had an orange little blade on the top, big blade, big, you know, white and chartreuse style spinnerbait, just because I was like, well, this isn't going to do what I was expecting it to do. So, you know, and then from the standpoint of throwing the vibrating jig, I have caught a couple of fish on this, but I don't know that it outperformed necessarily some of the other vibrating jig choices that I've been throwing as well. I do think the vibrating jig has a more has a really good vibration. It gives off a little bit of a almost like a clicking sound, I feel like. So I'm not opposed to it. I really just don't see the need to having the funnel cone on it, like they say. So let's go down to the water. I'll show you both, and you guys can make your own opinions. But I just wanted to share my thoughts on this. All right, so we're down here. We've got the Longest Baits Funnel Gladiator, reading directly from Tackle Warehouse's website. It says that the bait is designed to emit a tremendous amount of turbulence and vibration at any retrieve speed. As you can see, I'm just reading it direct from here. It's meant to create enticing action that fish simply cannot resist. So, if we're to check this bait out, hopefully you can see that. Let's get a little shallower. I mean, it's got really good side-to-side motion, but the bait is not doing anything specific in terms of like a scrounger side-to-side motion. I mean, there's no rolling at all. So to me, I'm a little disappointed. I was expecting more side-to-side motion. Now, I will say that this blade kicks and feels great, but it's not doing anything that I feel like is being generated because of the scrounger. So that's the Gladiator. All right, so now we've got our Longest Baits Funnel spinnerbait tied on, and I'm going to read again directly from Tackle Warehouse. If I click on it, it says that the funnel spinnerbait produces huge turbulence and underwater vibration by combining the action of a scrounger head and a spinnerbait. At the end, it says that it displaces tons of water and produces excellent fishing results with erratic side-to-side action at any retrieve. All right, so let's see if it does that. I see no side-to-side motion. I see a spinnerbait. Maybe a little bit of flare on the skirt material, a little bit of side-to-side motion, but it really has to be at a much faster speed. It's not doing a whole lot. I actually feel like some of the skirt material gets caught in the wake of the suction cup and therefore gets almost pulled up to the bait. There is, you know, good vibration out of the skirt, but I don't feel like that's necessarily doing anything crazy to the point where huge turbulence is the correct description on the Tackle Warehouse website. So this is my review, guys. I think both of them are high quality components made with good materials and definitely can catch fish. I don't see the need for the funnel. I don't know that they're worth paying the extreme price for. So I'd love to know from you guys, do you feel like the Longest Baits Funnel series is producing for you? I'd love to know if you guys have had some luck with it. Is it something that is worth the money? Because in my opinion, I haven't seen a reason for it to be separated from a bunch of the other products that we use that are very similar. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stay tuned, new video tomorrow.